Hello everyone. So unfortunately our lecture this week by Dr. Kraker was cancelled thanks to this. We had a little bit of snow last night. So instead I'll be reflecting on the reading that we were given to read before class, which was called Talking Dirty, The Politics of Clean Water and Sanitation. And it was written by Michelle Berry and James Hughes and was published in the New England Journal of Medicine. I think that water sanitation is a topic that's often neglected in the health field. It's something I personally have never really thought too much about in my own life. And while we've come a long way in understanding how pathogens and bacteria make us sick, there are still so many places in the world that don't have access to basic water sanitation, which puts those populations at risk for infectious disease in three main ways. Here's a clip from a TED Talk that I recently watched. It's by Rose George, and it's on the topic of water sanitation.
2.5 billion people worldwide have no adequate toilet. They don't have a bucket or a box. 40% of the world with no adequate toilet. And they have to do what this little boy is doing by the side of the Mumbai Airport Expressway, which is called open defecation. Because the problem with all that poop lying around is that poop carries passengers. 50 communicable diseases like to travel in human shit. All those things, the eggs, the cysts, the bacteria, the viruses, all those can travel in 1 gram of human feces. How? Well, that little boy will not have washed his hands. He's barefoot. He'll run back into his house, and he will contaminate his drinking water and his food and his environment with whatever diseases he may be carrying by fecal particles that are on his fingers and feet.
So as mentioned in the clip, not having access to toilets and clean water for hand washing puts populations at risk for disease. As such, I think the public needs to be more concerned that 40% of the world's population does not have access to these basic services. It's a topic that has become taboo in our culture, and I agree with Rose that I think we need to challenge this cultural norm in order to draw attention to the very real concerns faced by those living in low and middle income countries. Access to clean water is a very complex issue, and I think it requires the collaboration on the parts of government, industry, and NGOs. In the post-industrial society that we live in, I think industries are rewarded for increasing productivity, but there's no incentives to adopt environmentally friendly practices. I think legislation and incentives need to be enforced so that industries are held accountable for the waste that they produce and the detrimental health and environmental impacts of that waste. In addition, since water sanitation plays such an important role in public and population health, access to clean water is also the responsibility of government. I think governments need to invest in water treatment facilities in order to reduce the spread of bacteria and pathogens that cause diarrheal disease. Finally, I think NGOs should step in a situation where governments do not have the resources at their disposal to invest in water sanitation infrastructure. These NGOs do need to be careful, however, to ensure that they don't create a relationship of dependency with the host country. Instead, I think they should collaborate with government and industry in order to strive for sustainable solutions, eventually leading to a situation where the NGO is no longer needed and can move on to another region that requires assistance. In sum, I think water sanitation is a very complex issue, and it requires the collaboration between government, industry, and NGOs. It's something that we need to talk about in order to break the taboo and invest in the health of over 40% of the world's population. Thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for next week when, barring any crazy snowstorms, I'll be talking about the global burden of infectious disease following a lecture by Dr. Jeff Pernica. Have a good week.